Today, I'm going to be overviewing the one method that made us over $240,000 in 1 month without spending a single dollar on advertising. And if you think I'm lying, here's the proof from our WAP of us collecting $240,000 in 1 month. And this is the one method that led to people commenting on my short form video saying, why is bro giving out the sauce, lol? And at Poolin, nah, with this info, I did 50K in 3 weeks. It is defo the sauce. And so today, we're gonna be overviewing what that method was, how you guys can do it in your business and implement it as well. So hopefully you can collect similar numbers to what we did. So why is this crazy? Why are people saying this is crazy? And why are these numbers crazy? It is because in a normal coaching business at these numbers, doing $240,000 in 1 month, normally what people are gonna say you have to do is spend $80,000 on advertising. And that's a good ROAS, that's a good KPI. If you hit a 3 ROAS, if you spend 80K on ads and you get 240 back, in the industry, that is considered good. And so that is why this is crazy, is because we didn't spend a single dollar on advertising. None, not a single one. And you're probably wondering at this point or thinking at this point, like, oh, okay, so you didn't spend any money on advertising, but you put up almost $250,000 in a month. You must have had 100,000 followers or 100,000 subscribers. Like you must have had this huge organic audience. And that's why this is even crazier. We had 1,000 followers on Twitter, we had 10,000 followers on Instagram, and we had less than 500 on YouTube. And with these numbers and this one strategy, we were able to put up $240,000. That is not normal. And even today, we only have 25,000 on Instagram, we only have 7,000 on YouTube, and we only have 2,000 on Twitter for the face of brand that we run this funnel for. And we still collect over $150,000 per month in cash collected with this method. And so, all this to be said, you don't need a big audience to hit big numbers. You just need an extremely niche audience with the proper sales motion. And this is one thing that a lot of people miss out on and that they don't have. They might have a niche audience or have an audience in general, but they don't have the proper sales motion in order to funnel that audience and actually monetize it and actually collect cash from it. And so hopefully today, I'll be able to help you guys a little bit understand how you can monetize this better and at least take one initial step in doing so. And so, the method, the secret method that we're talking about here, which isn't really secret, is outbound. So 3/4 of the leads of that 240,000 were from outbound, cold outbound and warm outbound. And in my opinion, right now, outbound is extremely overlooked in the info space and not enough people are doing it. And so there's 2 aspects of outbound. There is warm outbound and there's cold outbound. And we're gonna overview both real quick right here. So warm outbound is hitting people that follow you and that are engaging with your stuff. Typically with warm outbound, you'll have a better response rate, you'll have more bookings and better bookings, and it'll be an easier close for your salesperson because they know you, they've been consuming your stuff, and they're just a warmer lead overall. And so that's the idea of warm outbound. The idea of cold outbound is the opposite side of that. These are people that are in your niche, but they're not yet engaging with you and they don't know about you, or they're at least not following your stuff yet. And so you send them a message, and we're gonna go over how you can find these accounts and how you can message them in a second, but you send them a message, they check your profile, your content that you're currently posting, that is what is gonna validate you, and then they're gonna reply to your stuff hopefully and start a conversation and hopefully book in and come to a close. And so, how do you actually find warm leads? How do you actually find cold leads? We'll start on the warm side. The warm side is fairly easy. There's, I would say, about 4 or 5 ways you can find a warm lead. Number 1 and the easiest one is when someone follows you. If you're starting an outbound funnel, the second someone follows you, you should message them as soon as possible. The quicker you can message them, the better. Now, I know there's a lot of softwares out there that will do this automatically for people. I actually prefer, even though we could be using those, I prefer to do it manually still. Because I believe if you go and follow someone instantly, right, and you get a DM back right away, you know it's a bot, you know it's not a real person. And so the whole idea behind this outbound funnel is if you have a setter on the funnel and you have a setter sending messages, you want the person that is receiving the message to believe that it is actually you, especially if you have someone that is running it, again, like a setter, and it isn't you. And if you automatically respond to someone right away as soon as they follow you, they're gonna know it's not you. There's no way you're responding and you're sending out messages within 30 seconds of them following you. And I know on some of these softwares you can create delays, but I just prefer to do it manually and it's worked better for us. So that's number 1, right? Is people that follow you. Number 2 is people that are engaging with your content. So this again is the top priority one right here, is as soon as they follow you and you get a new follower, you hit them right away. And we'll go over in a second of what you should actually be saying to these people. Number 2 is when you're posting content and people like your stuff. If someone's liking your reel, especially if your content is about extremely niche tactics, and that's a whole different topic and a whole nother video about what to actually make content on. But as long as your content is not like lifestyle, super flashy, and it's just tactical stuff that's super valuable, the likes that you're getting, these are gonna be people in your ICP, they're gonna be your ICP, and they're gonna be people that you want to actually target and hit and spark conversations with. And so as soon as you get a like on your content, that's number 2. Contact these people. Now the other 2 besides that is if someone comments on your stuff and you look at your profile and you think they're a good fit and they match your ICP, message them as well. And also if people are viewing your story or liking your story, you can hit them off that as well. These are all warm leads. Now, this is the top priority, new people that are following you. Second priority is people that are engaging with your content that you're putting out. So Instagram Reels, stories, comments, etc. And then the last one is people that actually follow you. And so if you've been posting content for a long time, you probably have a couple thousand followers already. And so you can go back through and essentially just scroll through your old followers and people that are following you and message those people as well. And so that's the third method of how to get warm leads. And if you have a stack of warm leads that you have not hit yet, this as a whole is the number 1 priority. Warm leads. Before you go to cold, you should hit everything and squeeze all the warm leads that you have before you even look at cold, because you're gonna have a much easier time getting calls on the board and closing people. Now, once you go through all your warm leads and you've done all that and you're caught up to speed there, then we can go to cold. And so there's 3 methods that I'm gonna overview here of how you can get cold leads. Number 1 is the same warm tactics, but on other people's profiles. So you're essentially scraping other people's profiles and your competitors' profiles. So if you're in whatever niche you're in, you probably know who your competitors are. Go on their profile. If they're actively posting content, they're likely attracting your ICP or the person that you're trying to sell as well. And there might be people that they're attracting that you're not, for whatever reason, right? Because of the way they look, because of the content they're putting out, whatever it may be. You can go on their profile and you can look through their followers and you can message those people as well that aren't following you and spark a conversation with them. You can also do this with the content that they're putting out, and you can hit the people that are liking their most recent posts and their most recent comments. Because if they just put out a post today about a super tactical thing in your niche and people are liking that and commenting on that, those are gonna be people that are actively looking to get into your niche or learn about your niche or learn whatever you're trying to do. And so those are really good leads. And just because they don't follow you yet doesn't mean that you can't message them, get them onto your page and start a conversation with them. So that's number 1, and those are cold leads. Number 2 is the optimized discovery feed, or basically optimizing your algorithm to train your feed to get your type of content up. And so what I mean by that is basically you're training your feed by watching niche content. So whatever your niche is, just watch a ton of content in that niche. And then anytime a video starts to pop off or any videos do well in your niche, it's gonna be the first thing that comes into your feed. And then you can mine the likers and the commenters of that viral niche video by doing the same method we just talked about, just doing outbound and sending them a message. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is like a little hack to get some more growth and engagement on your profile, but thoughtful comments. So again, if you have the optimized feed now based in your niche and you have an optimized feed that's in your niche and you leave a strong top comment on a viral niche video, whatever, something like super thoughtful, something that makes sense, you carry on the idea that they talked about or you counter the idea that they were talking about and you leave a strong comment, people, when you're scrolling through your phone, everyone does this, right? You're watching the things and a lot of people click into the comments. Oh, what are people saying about this? How are people reacting? Whatever. It's just another thing that people do to stem nowadays. And so if you leave a top comment and it gets a bunch of likes and you're at the top of that, they're gonna see it, they're gonna read it, and they might check out your profile as well. Or they'll like that comment, and then you have warm engagement now that you can hit outbound. And so basically you're just riding the visibility of the video that's starting to pop off, and you're just gonna get more profile clicks and more engagements because of that you can hit outbound. And so these are how you can find accounts to hit for warm and cold outbound. Next, it's what do you actually say to these people? How do you actually message them? How do you get them to respond? And how do you get them onto a call? And so what I want to say here, and I'm sure you'll all agree with me on this, is that people are absolutely exhausted by spammy copy and paste DMs. I'm exhausted by it. Everyone's exhausted by it. They suck. If you ever get a message and it's like a super long paragraph, I'm sure I could pull some up on my computer, but it's a super long paragraph where it's someone that is like, it's like 3 paragraphs long, and it's like, hey man, like make sure your content's optimized so that you can get your things. Like, I offer this service, like, do you wanna hop on a call? No one's replying to that shit anymore. It's not working. Maybe 5 years ago when Instagram was first starting to pop off and no one was really doing outbound, it worked. It does not work now. People think it's spam, people think it's a scam, and so they're not gonna reply to it. And so you must feel and be genuine when you're sending messages. And so what's working for me currently is messages like this. And again, I'll mention this after, but this always changes. For me, just be casual. If someone follows you, you can just say, what's up, Chris? I'm just reaching out to connect with people who follow me and to network. Are you doing online arbitrage right now? And replace the filler words, like online arbitrage, that's something, I'm in the Amazon niche, so that's something that we talk about a lot. If you're not in the Amazon niche, just replace online arbitrage with whatever thing that you're teaching or coaching. That's it. We've seen a very good response rate off this, and a couple things to note is number 1, have 3 messages here. When you send 3, you're more likely to get a response. Number 2, keep it casual. What's up, Chris? Make sure you have their name so it's personalized. Again, casual here. Keep it casual, look like you're trying to network or just talk to them, and you're more likely to get a response. And the last thing I'll say on this is that what worked a year ago, or even 2 years ago, or even 6 months ago, does not work now. This is always changing. And so test multiple methods. If you're doing outbound on a consistent basis, always be iterating, always be looking for new ways to get responses and track it and A/B test various things, and don't spam just one. And so the next thing I want to go over, and what you're probably wondering now, is, okay, so cool, we can find accounts that way, we can send messages that way, but like, does Meta actually allow for this, and is this something that we can actually do? And so the answer is, you can definitely get your account spam banned if you're not careful with all this. And so my kind of rule of thumb for you guys, and again, do this all at your own risk, but don't copy and paste the identical messages from one account to another. And so if you take those 3 messages we just showed and you just copy and paste, you're gonna get spam banned. And so don't do that. Number 2 is don't send messages too quickly. I recommend sending about 1 message per minute max. If you go past that, you're likely to get spam banned as well. And then try to stay under 200 messages a day. Again, these are just from my experience. If you go over that, you have a higher chance of getting it clipped. And if you do 200 a day for like a month straight and you're super consistent with it, then again, higher chance to get banned or get like some 24-hour like temporary cooldown or whatever. So just be careful with stuff. Don't spam and you'll be fine. But keep your eye on it. If your account's doing anything weird, then just stay away from it. And so this is basically step 1, is finding the accounts and sending the initial message of getting people on calls and monetizing it, and then going and hitting months like we hit, doing 240K a month. From here, the next thing that would happen is you have an actual conversation with the person, and there's a lot that goes into like what this conversation looks like, and there's definitely a strategy behind it. You're not just messaging back and forth, just like talking about bullshit and fluff, because that's not going to incentivize someone to get on a call with you and learn from you. And so there's a very strategic conversation flow behind this. And then after that, you're booking them in for a call with you. Again, there's a lot of strategy and a lot of different mechanisms you put into play in order to get them from initial message, response, conversing with you, to actually booking them in for a call to learn from you. And then again, a ton more that goes into actually doing that sales call and closing them with like pre-call reminders, with follow-up cadences, with offer structures. So it's not as easy as, okay, I'm gonna go spam, whatever, send out 200 messages a day and I'm gonna be like Jack and his company and do 240,000 in cash collected in a month. That's not the case. There is hundreds of hours of other things that we have spent on implementing other systems and making this process more fluid and have a higher conversion rate throughout in order to hit those numbers. And so it's not as easy as just send message, make cash. There's a lot more that goes into it. And so this is stuff that I'll talk about in future videos, and this is stuff that like if you're working directly with me that you'd learn about, but we don't have enough time today, and this, if I was to cover all this, it would probably be a 10-hour video. And so all that being said, hopefully this was helpful. Go send some messages. If you want more free info like this, shoot me a subscribe. I don't have a funnel. You'll see there's no link in bio. That's for a reason. I only work with about 5 to 10 people at once. And so if you have over 10,000 Instagram followers or over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and you're not monetizing it with the numbers that you're seeing here, just shoot me a DM on Instagram saying you watched this video, and I'm happy to talk about working together. To be transparent, I'm working with about 3 or 4 people right now, and so I can only take on so many more people. But again, just DM me on Instagram and mention you watched this video, and I'm happy to talk to you and see if we could be a good fit. But hopefully this was valuable, guys. If you want more free info like this, feel free to shoot me a sub. Thank you.